All right, we're here for game one. I do want to play first in draft. This hand doesn't do a lot, but if we draw one of our 2 mana or even a 3 mana accelerants, it's good, and we're probably okay against aggro with the Essence Depleter. So I think I can keep that. It just kind of, I mean, we've built a ramp deck. We need one of our ramp pieces. Once we get that, we're in, pretty decent shape. Colorless sources would be nice too, but I mean, we put them in the deck, so we should draw them. It's a bit late for us to draw one now, although a Cultivator Drone would do a thing. Opponent playing nothing's fine. I wish we'd had that last turn just as a play, but I'm going to run out the Depleter and use all of our mana. The Blinding Drone is less of a threat when you can't activate it anyway. I do think I would have liked to have a Wastes in this deck. But we'll see how it plays out. As long as our opponent isn't doing anything super aggressive, we're basically fine. All right, they're playing a 3-1. I mean, we probably trade these off, because we don't really have anything better to do. The Thought-Knot Seer blanks it, but we can't cast that next turn. The Blinding Drone can't do anything with it, so yeah. They're rightfully afraid of this, but without us having access to colorless mana, it's not really doing anything. So best draw on the deck is a Wastes. Unfortunately, there's not a Wastes in the deck, but that's alright. Soothsayer can be a powerhouse. No point in F6ing and letting our opponent know we don't have like a horribly awry, which I have affectionately nicknamed Sandy. Okay. Druid. This is where our creature ramp gets a little worse, but I'm going to continue to just play dudes. I guess this means we attack for 1, which they're not going to block, but you get in every point you can. And we could get the Wombo combo of Soothsayer and Envoy out. Mana bases are a bit worse in this format just because you've got there's a lot of 3-color decks, kind of like what we're playing. Chain Mage is an okay draw. It at least lets us start affecting the board some. And we can block all of the stuff they have. Like, ping them for 2, gain 1 is not a bad plan. It's susceptible to like reality hemorrhage, whereas we've not presented anything that is susceptible to reality hemorrhage yet, but I also suspect that if we draw a colorless mana source, our opponent is going to want to kill it quickly. We're both a bit stuck on land. That'll help our opponent a good bit. Presumably to get a Wastes, if they have one. No, just a mountain. Alright. Be neat if we had an Ingest card or something. I think this is going to be a hemorrhage on this guy. No, Oath of Shant, same difference. Which is fine, they didn't get our drone at least. Like, running out the Prophet of Distortion now doesn't really do anything. Our opponent doesn't have attacks, we don't have attacks. I suppose, like, we can jam the Prophet and get the Avenger out and then try to trade it with the Spider. Yeah, it's probably better to do that than not to. Like, sitting here and not making a play doesn't do anything. Yeah, we're really suffering for not having colorless mana right now. I thought 5 was enough. But like now any colorless source we draw has a big target on its head. I played this out because it could in a pinch trade for that or block this, and we do need to get something down. Alright, a 5-4 we can pseudo deal with if we want to gang block it, which I'm not convinced that I do. And yet, here we are. Alright, there's a land. That's a start. I can play the Soothsayer and try to trade that, but I'd kind of rather find another way to deal with that thing. The way to deal with that thing may be to block it with the Avenger. And this dude? I mean, green-red ain't gonna be able to do much. I want the I want to draw into lands. Retreat to Valakut. Target creature can't block this turn. Okay. So he can pump his dudes or make my dudes not block. He's pumping them. Alright. But I feel like I could be wrong, but this block seems pretty good to me. It gets me some value off the profit. I've already got card drawing shenanigans going. If he's got a trick, he's got a trick. Like, we can sort of kind of start to get a thing going here. And like, tapping something is probably going to be more valuable than anything else. Like, I pseudo expect a combat trick here, but if I just end up getting 2 for 1, I'm kind of okay with that. Alright. So big threat off the table, card draw engine assembled. Lice from the Loam is in full effect. Sky Spawner's not a bad draw. It does give us the option to tap something or cast the Thought-Knot Seer next turn to get their Zendikar Resurgent, which I can only presume they have. Small argument for tap these now to draw a card in case it's a land. The downside is it lets them get in damage with these. I think I'm okay with that. If I was going to do that, I should have just done it first, because I might draw something else, but like, if we rip a land, we kind of want to be able to play it here. I could use my colorless mana to Thought Knot them now, which does set up another land going into Ruin Processor, being able to exile something. I think I actually like that too. Like, whatever the last good card they're sitting on, which may very well be Zendikar Resurgent, this lets us gobble it. Like, why would they put another land on top of their deck with the Loam Larva? Maybe they think they have to, but Embodiment of Insight and Tajuru Pathwarden. So this just makes lands better. And this we can, I mean, they've got nothing in their hand. They're going to draw a land, make something not block, and hit me for not much. And then we're going to slam a Ruin Processor. This is more likely to get out of control if they have mana ramp spells. So I think we take that and plan on trading the Thought-Knot Seer for the other one. Because they don't get any attacks this way. So let's just eat that guy. Sky Spawner ain't doing a lot yet, but I think good old Ruin P is going to get us out of this one. He can make the Thought-Knot Seer not block and swing team. And the most we take is 4. That feels pretty safe when we're about to gain 5. Saving that land, I like it. Didn't not have it. So I can attack with the Thought-Knot Seer. What's bad for me if he wants to do some shenanigans? I guess he could gang block it with all of these. So I think at this point, we just enjoy the board stall. Wish we still had that Coral Helm Guide in our deck. But we will eventually draw one of our 4 Demon's Grasps and be able to plink that and start attacking for 3 a turn, which will eventually add up, I guess. Don't want to F6 because we'll draw a card into turn. I like having these untapped now. It's unlikely I want to block with them, but we know he's got Forest and X in hand. But like our removal spells line up decently against his big threats. It's that spider that's really a pain in the butt. Alright, let's draw a card. And it's a flyer that can actually start to sort of kind of break through his stuff. So what blocks are bad for us here? 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, I guess he could block us that way, but we get this thing off the table. I like that it's holding his guys back. I guess I'm probably interested in just casting the Avenger. We could again draw a card on our turn and see if we can play it, but I don't think that super matters. And I get burned more. I mean, it sort of does if it's a colorless source. Because like one of our Hedron Crawlers would be pretty good here, so would our other guy, because then we can start tapping stuff down and getting in with the flyers. I think I've almost talked myself into it. Like, we get in a little bit of trouble. I should really stop doing this after I've cast something, but here we are. Demon's Grasp is fine too. That'll enable an attack next turn. And I can F6 now for value. Maybe not playing 100% correct, but I think we'll be alright. Like now I feel pretty comfortable Demon's Grasping this and just attacking for 5 until the game's over. So I'm going to give that a shot. And we'll just sit and draw cards into turn like a good boy. Do wish I had that Unknown Shores. But like there's 5 repeatable sources left in the deck, right? Between the Lantern, the 2 Cultivator Drones, and the Hedron Scrabblers or whatever they are. I think I still played 3 of those. No, I just played 2. He's ready to do something now. Like, maybe he wants me to trade off my Thought-Knot Seer so he can get a card, but I feel like when we're drawing multiple cards a turn and he's not, we're probably in better shape. Alright. I think if that's what he wants to do, I'll let him do it. Have to be careful. If he plays a Planeswalker, we'll take an extra 2 damage to something. To the face. Chandra don't mess around with heroes. It's like, whatever, I'm just going to burn him in the face. Gambit, deal 1 damage. Okay, you killed that guy. That's a start. That's a start. You did a thing. He's just dead set on getting my Thought-Knot Seer dead. Or not, I guess, maybe. I'm not aware of a spell that does, 3 damage to a tapped creature, so I guess we'll just keep drawing. Keep drawing nothing. Alright, so 7, and he's got to do 8. 5, 6, 7. I could trade this for both of those and then start attacking with the Thought-Knot Seer, so I think if he's not going to attack into me, I can start attacking with the Processor now. Like at 20 life, he's got to, he's got to trade this and that for it. Or just start chumping with these idiots. I'll take that and he can keep the Loam Larvas. Cuts him off for mana. Maybe he has a splash. He's got 2 1/3s on the board. Like, what are they going to do? And now I feel super comfortable drawing again because, again, he has no board. And it's another blinding drone, which doesn't really help, but in the world of 1/3s, I suppose they are king. It's like two completely non-interactive Play Dudes decks. Face off in a battle royale with cheese. Alright, Plated Crusher is a real card. Hey look, a colorless source. I mean, at this point, do we still want to draw cards, or do we want to try to kill him? We're pretty far off from trying to kill him. What are we going to do if he attacks with this? Jam two guys in front of it? I mean, that's not great. We can take a couple hits, though. I think I would still rather draw a card than deal a point of damage. I could plunk the blinding drones in front of it, or just double block it with these guys and turn off my card advantage, because at least we can tap his other stuff. But I think I'm just going to hit for 3 and let him have the first hit on the Plated Crusher. I could also double block with these and then draw a card, which still puts me colossally up. Okay, that's a bit of a threat too. I mean, he may be in a scenario where he just can't attack back. Or attack us because the crackback hurts too much. The downside of continuing to draw cards is we've got a lot of cards that aren't very good. But I do think I take the first hit off of this. Like after this, we probably just attack with the 2 flyers and then try to not die. Because that'll put them lethal in 2 hits. Do we have him dead here? Let's say we kill that and swing with the team. He blocks our 2 biggest things. He takes 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not dead. It's probably still what I want to do. I could also block this. Like tap that down. Kill this. Swing team. He blocks a 4-4. He takes 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's got to have an instant speed removal spell. Well, I can't attack with this, obviously, if I tap his guy. It seems like it's just safer to tap his dude end of turn. I'm giving him an extra turn to draw like a Rolling Thunder or something like that. All right, let's actually bother to do the math. So I use these 2 guys and tap that down. Kill this, for example. He's got 1 blocker. So he blocks a 4-4 and he takes 7, 8, 9. If he has a kill spell, like a plummet or something like that, am I dead on the crackback? 7, 8, 9. 10, 11 potentially. No, I think maybe we just go for it. Like, you got to close out a game at some point, and this seems like the opportune time to do it. Alright. He's got 1 card in hand. He doesn't have Stone Fury mana up, which is the only thing I can think of that really punishes me, and a lot of the removal in this format's like sorcery speed. So green-red ramp. Wish you had a colorless source in your deck, but you don't. Witness the End isn't unreasonable against something like that, and the null color isn't either. It assists in gumming up the ground, and it does turn any of our dead creatures into a mana sink. I don't want to cut any of the flyers because those seem relatively useful. If he's planning on playing ramp and has shown a propensity to hold cards anyway, then I kind of like this. I'd jam a Myers Malice in any old way, but Dampening Pulse could be okay against him. Guide obviously would have been good there, but I don't think it's going to be good in every matchup. We could try to get him with a Horribly Awry, but I'm not convinced that's something I want to do either. Is there anything in here that's just bad? No. I think the deck's just too good for me to cut anything. Like, obviously a deck playing 4 Demon's Grasps is absurd. I realize how stupid this is, and that it's not actually good. I could cut something for a land going on the draw. I mean, we still got 5 colorless sources. I feel like that's enough. And these do hold off a lot of his stuff. I'm going to run it back. I could see an argument for Witness the End. I don't hate that. Like I said, if it was a Myers Malice, I'd just jam it in happily. But it's not. So, here we are. So here we are on the draw. We've got 2 draw steps to hit a land, and if we do, we can kind of explode. And by kind of explode, I mean cast a Hedron Crawler. What are our chances of drawing a land here? Let's actually see if we can do the math. There's 16 left in the deck, so the deck's about half land. So every other draw step should be a land. So we should hit land number 2, which will get us to Sky Spawner, which I think means I can keep this. I hardly ever keep a 1-lander, but if the deck's half land, if they're shuffled relatively even on the draw, I think you can do this one. I mean, we've got a turn 1 play, so at least we're not going to have to discard. And even if we whiff for a turn or 2, we're probably still okay. I get that could enable Surging Avenger or something like that, but I don't think that's exactly the droid we're looking for. But like Crawler into either Mind Melter or Sky Spawner could be really good. We can block that all day. What's up? Alright. Crawler into Cultivator Drone really starts to get some things going, in addition to just drawing cards, if that's the route we want to go. We can use that to hit land drops. I think I'll still do the Sky Spawner first. I might have attacked if I was him. Yeah, I think we do. Like, if I do another Hedron Crawler, I've got access to early Demon's Grasp, but I think I'd rather put something on the board that can attack. And then next turn we can play the other Hedron Crawler and draw into more lands. Or potentially the Cultivator Drone. If we draw a land, we could conceivably do both. But like, he needs a spider now, or we can start poking. I probably want the Crawler in play instead of the drone, so that I can Demon's Grasp a 5/4 trample dude if he plays one next turn. Like, that's something we should probably look at answering. I don't know if I have to be too stressed about it right now. I probably should be, though. Like here I can draw a card looking to hit a swamp, which I don't hate, but he's probably going to continue presenting threats. So one option is to double block with like these 2 and see where that gets us, and if it doesn't work out, sack the Scion to draw a card, which means I'd only have 1 mana to spend this turn. I think I can take the first hit for 4, because again, we kind of just need that black mana and we're in business. And then play the Cultivator Drone, because I can already cast Demon's Grasp. Whereas Cultivator Drone could also just jump in front of that with a Scion. We've got plenty of colorless sources, and we've got the 2 removal spells, so this board state kind of looks okay for us. If I have to decide to trade off the Sky Spawner and a Scion for this guy, I'll do it. It's kind of the opposite of last time. We've got 2 of our colors, but not, I guess it's not really that different. Also, one of our Blinding Drones off the top kind of shuts him down. That's the guy we were worried about. And that's not a swamp. So I think now we do have to think about blocking. I can block here and here on this guy, getting rid of it. And then tap this and 2 lands to draw a card. Meaning I've still got enough to play the crawler out. Which means, unfortunately, we don't have any attacks, but we do have blocks and cards to draw. I think I'm ready to send this guy in just looking for that black mana. There's an argument to block this guy because at least combat tricks don't push through more damage. But I think I'd rather have this dead. 4/3, huh? Yeah, I've got to put the power in front of something. Let's block here. Combat trick hurts. We didn't see any last time. Swamp? Not a swamp, but we are one closer to it. And that's off the board. So that's a start. We can chump and draw next turn if we leave 3 other mana up, which shouldn't really be difficult here. Blinding Drone is terrific. That means we can chump and draw. I could just draw now, but we'll have that guy on lockdown after this turn. Like, let's say he pumps this, we take 4, we chump and draw. We hit a swamp, kill this, keep this locked down. We're now in control of this game. We don't have a great way to win yet, but Mind Melter should start getting us there. The only thing we're super scared of now is like a Plated Crusher. I guess technically I don't even need to draw in response, but I may as well. He's got the trample card, we're dead. Brute Strength, I think it is, but okay. Still plenty of time to get to that swampy. That is also not a swamp. Do I draw now? I don't know that it does much. I don't want to take another 4. So I think we just tap this and draw end of turn and make him at least play around counter spells. Like, I just can't get enough power on the board. The Chain Mage could at least trade with that, but we're kind of screwed to a Plated Crusher now. Because we just can't get enough in front of it. These Demon's Grasps are mocking me. We are drawing lots of cards, though. Alright, well, if he's got a combat trick, we're screwed anyway. So I think I just take the 4, go to 3. He could have Oath of Chandra. So there's actually an argument to chumping here and drawing the card. Because Oath of Chandra does really screw us. Wouldn't he have just killed my tapper? Not if he can outright win the game. Yeah, I think I want to stay at 7. Which means we're losing the ability to draw cards and tap. But I think we're at the point where if we don't hit a swamp right now, we're just done. Which is not a super happy place to be, but it's where we are. These guys kind of serve their purpose. I would like multiple colorless sources. We're not living in a world where I can afford to keep that happening, though. Support 2. Okay, that really doesn't matter. I mean, it does in that we're losing the profit, but we weren't going to be able to do much with that anyway. We did get the Chain Mage online, which is good. We don't really have any more chumps going on here. But like we can block here. We can just Demon's Grasp one of them. We've got some options. See what our opponent goes with. Like if he pumps that, we're never killing it with Demon's Grasp. So these two are just permanently tapped forever. Which I think is okay. Okay, double swamp is not bad. So I think I just fire off a Demon's Grasp here, tap that, fire off a Demon's Grasp here, and then we go with Mind Melter activations if we ever can. We'll need to draw another colorless source to try to eat that Plated Crusher, but it starts to let us pseudo-survive this game. I hate that I have to Demon's Grasp a Loam Larva, but I think I do. This does pretty much screw us with the Oath of Chandra that we were worried about before, but I think we've worked ourselves into a board state where we can't afford to play around much. This is one of those places where I kind of wish I did have that Null Caller in the deck. It might actually do a thing here. Okay, so you got all the mana you want. It's just a question of do you have Plated Crusher in hand or not. These are the moments where I wish I had the Discard 2 spell. From Beyond, he says. Alright, so infinite mana. That does start to let us do a thing. So I think where we start is Cultivator Drone now, so I'll have the colorless next turn to do a thing. And Chain Mage to trade with that. That seems terrible, but I think that's actually the play. Because I can't Demon's Grasp. And I want to play the Mind Melter and activate it. I mean, if he's got Plated Crusher, he's probably going to cast it, but at least we get a card off of it. He can cast his whole deck now. Maybe we're looking to ramp into 2 Demon's Grasps to kill this damn thing. I guess I can conceivably block this, so he may just leave the Chain Mage alive. Which is great. Yeah, an Oblivion Strike would be nice. The drones are doing a decent facsimile thereof. The only problem is that Plated Crusher. We can't actually interact with that at all. So I do think we'll scoop to that or something close to scoop to that. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the world, except that we can untap and Demon's Grasp it. The downside is it means we can't cast and activate our Mind Melter and get his last card, but like him popping this and sending him with 1,000,000 lands is not something we want to have happen. I don't think I can cast this and the Avenger, but we'll see what we can do here. I guess I can, if I'm willing to use this to tap that and trade and then block with the Avenger, which we're in a position where we probably have to now. So sure. Let's get surging. I have no business winning this game. But I might still be able to do it. Like if we draw an ally, we can start 5 a turn. That'll get there eventually. I feel like if he had an Eldrazi, he'd probably have gone and gotten it. Still pumping that's got to be a good sign for us. I think. Man, this sure is a grindy, slow format. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. You get to play more Magic for your tickets. But I'm kind of wondering how my opponent's going to win a game 3 at this point. I guess they'd win it quickly, would be how they'd do it. Yeah, that's what we were a little worried about. Because now we're going to have to deal with an 11-11. So we're going to need another one, and then we'll have to chump block. Which is not terrible. That's not another one. We do have a Demon's Grasp, which again we can use on a thing. It doesn't do a whole lot. We can Mind Meld, exile his last card, and then maybe just string some creatures together to block with. I definitely want to exile his last card. I think I'm chump blocking with this guy. So let's see what you're working with over there. It's probably just a land. Yeah. But I mean, that's somewhat relevant. Oh, I tapped the wrong one. I wanted to chump block with this guy because he does less, but I guess that's the world we live in. Hopefully that matters and I get blown out by it. I don't know that making it much bigger matters. Like, it already kills me with one hit. It is a must chump every turn. Yeah, we'll jump here because we gotta. So I think we're at the point now where we have to kill the Loam Larva and then chump with this, cutting off all of the rest of our colorless sources. Like, how are we winning from there? We hit him for 5, kill the Loam Larva, chump, hit him for 5, chump. I mean, I guess that wins. Like, we're going to have to draw another creature to do it, but that's how we win from here. And how we lose from here is playing too slowly. Because, like, this game's basically over. If he swings with his team here, I think we're just dead. If he just attacks with this, we can probably actually do this. Okay. He has figured it out. Good for him. That should put us dead next turn. Yeah, especially with the Loam Larva, too. So I think that's dead for us. Right? He swings back, we chomp, we eat some things, whatever. Yeah, once we're chomping, we're in pretty bad shape. I can't attack with everything because we're dead on board, so I guess we pass and make him kill us. He might show us another card. That was close to getting there. This is where I miss something like the spell that keeps a dude tapped. That would have been really good for us. But we may as well just take 2 and eat his dudes. By losing all of our colorless sources like that, we've gotten to the point where we can't really fight this. Because, like, another blinding drone doesn't do it. Alright, I'm at 1. Kill me. Ugh. It's almost the story of the one-lander that could. But it turns out it was the one-lander that could not. All right, so options. I kind of want a big thing to be able to finish a game with. And after seeing that From Beyond, I definitely want Dampening Pulse in this deck right now. Like, we have to have it. Actually, the Coral Helm Guide may just be the droid I'm looking for. So if that's the case, I can probably cut one of these drones. They're good, but I have to have a colorless source to activate them, and for too long I didn't. And probably... God, it can't be one of the Demon's Grasps, can it? Is that just the right call? It kills all the things we want to kill, but it is stupid expensive. We're going on the play? Yeah. I'm going to give this a shot. I think that Dampening Pulse is going to be good in this matchup. Got to play relatively quickly. And this is okay. We hit any land, we get the Seer's Lantern going. And we've got a Coral Helm Guide to trade/block. Also, Swamp off the top is just great. We can put a quick clock on him. Hey look, a Swamp off the top. I expect a Lone Larva here. Oh no! Spark Mage's Gambit. Nice. We draw another land. We can Seer's Lantern into Prophet of Distortion, although I probably wouldn't just run it out. Yeah, we'll just hit. And if he's not going to play anything, we could argue that we just want to activate our Mind Melter. But I think instead of that, we would rather play the Thought Knot Seer and grab his Plated Crusher. So let's see what you're working with over there. And then we can decide if we want to run out our Prophet. So Vines of the Recluse, Plummet. Plummet doesn't do anything against us currently. The Path Warden and the Hellion kind of do the same thing in that we have to answer them. And Vines of the Recluse makes that a little harder to do. Like, taking one of these doesn't matter. He's going to slam fatty, 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 fatty. We can trade the Thought Knot Seer for one of them, but I kind of just want to get his trick and remember that he has a Plummet. It makes our Avengers dead draws, but they're kind of dead draws anyway. We can also make him discard one more card on our turn, but I feel like this limits him to one play a turn. Warden times 2, Hellion, and Plume. Because we're going to take the Vines, we're going to play this dude, and we're going to hit. Imagine we see a Warden here. No, Hellion. Okay. That's interesting. So I can Chain Mage to keep putting the pressure on. I can draw a card. I can make him exile a card. I feel like making him exile a card might be a little better because we know he's got good stuff. And it could conceivably leave into drawing a land and getting the Ruin Processor online, which just kills all of his stuff. So I think I'm going to go with that and hit for 2. And then try to slam a Ruin Processor here and get him. Oh, I guess we already had something exiled, but because we'd done the Vines, he didn't have the Lone Larva last turn, so whatevs. I can play the Chain Mage to trade for that, but I kind of just want to hit a land and slam this Ruin Processor, which means I probably should have just drawn a card there. But let's make up for it by doing the Blinding Drone and drawing a card now. Because the Blinding Drone can stop it next turn if it has to. We can also trade off the Thought Knot Seer if we want to. Like, we're pretty far down on time now, so we gotta make this quick. Okay. Well, it's an answer. Still would rather have a land, but... Alright, so let's kill this. We'll tap his other thing. And we're just going to do it main phase because we're running out of time here. And we need that F6 value. It does screw us to the haste guy he showed us, but if I got to block with the Prophet of Distortion, I can do that. I think we can beat a Plated Crusher if we hit a land right now. It's not a land. Alright, so do I draw a card to try to hit a land? Probably. That means I can't tap his other guy, so probably not. So I'll probably play Chain Mage. Actually, we can play the Essence Depleter into the Avenger and threaten to gang block it, but I still can't tap his other guy. I guess I'm taking a hit from it and then slamming the thing. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing super great here, but that 3-minute clock is scaring the hell out of me. We're still fine if we draw a land. If not, I'll have to actually think next turn. Do I chump here? Probably just because of time. Like if he Oath of Chandras and hits me, or has any other burn, I'm dead. Also, we know he has the Plummet, so the Avenger's not going to do anything. It's land or bust. Because chumping that is not a long-term plan. Hey look, a land. I like lands. Alright, get in there. We can now block with the Prophet of Distortion. Chump with it, that is. Yeah, I made some mistakes here, but once this hits like 4 minutes, I kind of go into panic mode, which may be something we see more often in this format than older ones, because like we're 2 hours in from the draft start here. Yeah, this is really the only choice that he has, which I understand. He elects not to do it, which I also understand. All right, he can give it trample. That's the thing we've got to be aware of. He's got one card left, but I need that tap down. Because he's got all of these things. Also, we have to win the game somehow. And we know his last card's a Plummet. So playing this doesn't do much other than let him use it. So much tramples. Alright, he's got a Plummet in hand. We should be able to navigate a win out of this. We'll tap the biggest thing down. No attacks. I like it. We win with an ally. That's not an ally, but I am going to kill his dude. That just makes things safer. Why couldn't you have been a Sphinx ally? So again, some sloppy play towards the end, but I think we got there. Not 100% done yet. If he's drawn a reality hemorrhage, I guess we could have tried to make him discard it, but... Ah, there you have it. That was a close one. We'll see you for the next round in just a minute. Sorry for the sloppy play towards the end, but again, I panic when there is no time left.